Welcome back, friends and neighbors. Chiefs Kingdom around the world. The preseason is finally over, and I'm pretty pumped about it. We have a lot to go over, some instant takeaways. We're going to give you our notes. I know there's a ton of you waiting around to get into the room, so hey, why don't we get started? Welcome to RGR Football.
Hey guys, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just start off real quick with an apology because one, I got many of you up for Cornell Powell. My own fault. I learned a lesson from that. Yes. Two, I'm going to give you something information. The Chiefs don't cut their draft picks. They just don't. So everyone that's coming for Cornell Powell getting cut to go to the practice squad, you can save it. It's wasted on me. Okay. I've already locked it in my mind. He's making the roster. Okay. And I, for one, don't really care about his play time. The Chiefs had two guys in Marcus Kemp and Fountain that have played in the NFL for at least 3 years. More. They had to see what they got in them. So they're force feeding them. So for my own thing, you can stop coming at me with the Powell's getting the IR treatment and stuff like that because it's wasted on me. I just ignore it.
Okay, just roll through it. It's okay. And I will tell you this. I'm actually hopeful for it. I know that you want him on the roster, and that's perfectly fine. I think a year of development, I think, would be good for him. I know that if he gets in games later, there's always attrition in a season. You're absolutely right about that. And so he would eventually get some playtime, but I think it's also perfectly fine to develop him. If we find out tomorrow's Andy report is Cornell did something, we don't know exactly what it is. We know what's going on, but I won't cry.
And I'll apologize.
There's no need. It's okay to like what you like and see what you see. I'm just not. It's a squeeze, you guys. It's a squeeze all the way around this roster. I'm not even sure that Fountain can make it. We're gonna have to see. Yeah. It's not just about the positional grade against the other guys at your position. It's this roster is so tight around the edges that it's going to be close. Man, there's so much. I have a ton of notes here. We'll go over my note. Dan, you have a ton too. Zach, Thank you for the super chat. Want to thank you for that. Gotta love what you saw tonight for the team on all levels. Can't wait for week one. I think that's the general body of Chiefs Kingdom right now. Can we just jump to week one, please?
Right.
This is going to be
weird. Layoff we got. Like, what's going on?
It's going to be hard to get used to. And this is obviously, you guys, this is new territory for all of us. I think I'll do the 53 for the breakdown on Sunday. If you're available, Dan, we'll do the Monday night show together, and we'll go over that as well. I'll have stuff on Locked On Chiefs as well. Chris and I are going to do a together 53 as we battle as though we're Andy and Veach to see who wins. It'll be interesting. But that's the thing is like this extra gap. Like they don't even have to make cuts until Tuesday. Cut down day is Tuesday. I think we're going to see some trickle over the next couple days here and there. And then the most will be there, but we don't know for certain. But keep an eye puzzled here. If you see me going live all of a sudden, something strange happened, and we'll make sure that we get that for you. In the meantime, like, sub, hit that bell notification. If you're here for the first time because you came to watch somebody else's stream and we popped up, well, welcome. I think you want to stick around. We have a lot of fun, and we do this. You can see up here in the corner, this isn't the only live stream. I'll do post game for every game, but it's like clockwork on Mondays and Thursdays. You can get it at 6 Central, and we're always live on here. So thank you to Zach for the super chat.
Yes,
super chats always help us. Tonight, I'm not going to tell you to support us and grab the teas out of the tea store for us. You always can if you want, but I'm telling you, go over here. This is where you get the juice. And today's kind of Therese Paylor Day. And if you guys missed my little clip before, I just wanted to shout out that, like, I didn't know that so much was coming. I didn't know that the mayor was going to name it Therese Day. I didn't know any of that. And the fact that they retired his seat in the press box, that's like significant. So I just wanted to shout that out. But that's not the only thing going on. Travis, thank you for the support and the super chat.
Very much.
You guys do that. Please ask a question. We'll try to get to them. And welcome in, Random Chiefs fan. I always like it when we get some of those. Welcome to memberships. The memberships around here are always fun. You get extra content. You get extra shows. And you get the upgrade to the Discord chat, which is always a lot of fun. So let's get into it. We have some questions. I'll get to you in a little bit. I want to start because I just want to reiterate this the other night because now I hear some people jumping onto the bandwagon, including the announcers. Trent Green, I'm looking at you. I told you guys 3 weeks ago, L'Jarius needs a Pro Bowl caliber player this year right now. Get ready for it because it's going to be fun.
I think he might even be an all-pro this year. He's looking extremely not only just comfortable, but in the spots he needs to be in at whenever the ball goes near him, he's right there. So he's seeing the game, he's understanding the game plan, he's doing the film study. This is the kind of stuff that Tyrann Mathieu gets into your head. Like, that's why he's so good at what he does. He understands what's happening before it happens. You're seeing some of that in Snead's game, and that is what makes players all pro players. So he's going to have that type of season. He might not make the team, but he's going to look like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Secondly, this is literally my second note. I like the lighter version of Hitch. Like, I think this is going to pay off, especially when Noddy and Reed are in front of him. I think that's really going to pay off for them. It's all about the longevity. Can he stay healthy? If he does that, I think we saw Bolton out there tonight, and we saw some change with the 2s and 3s later. But I think we're going to be okay at the linebacker level, and it may be really fun. Maui, I'm going to put you up here. I'm not quite ready, but hold on a second. Dan, how did you like the linebacker group, at least in the first half?
I told you guys at least 2 weeks ago that this is going to be Anthony Hitchens' best season in the NFL ever. Like, this is going to be his best season. It's because he's not only flashed, but he's faster. He's getting downhill quicker. He's not hesitating at all. He now is fully bred into this defensive system. He knows it. He knows what's happening. He's better lined up, and the people in front of him are so good that they're getting him open looks at running back lane and rushing lanes. That's the huge part to this whole thing. I really think that as much as we've talked over the offseason about it being a weakness of this defense, Anthony Hitchens is going to go out and make it look much better than it probably is on paper. And I think that's a huge thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Maui, I appreciate you. This might be the happiest I've been in the history of preseason football.
It was awesome.
Ever. I had to literally back it up and watch it twice. Thank you, DirecTV, for not failing me tonight. Because I was giddy. I was chuckling like a little schoolgirl. It was great. The only thing would have been better if Burton was in there. So we'll work on that next time, Andy. Okay. I think that might have just been a toss to me so that Andy can get me to shut up about it. I don't know. We'll see.
It's like, who is this guy? Why does he keep talking about four tight ends?
All I hear about is, it's hilarious. Nicholas, you have a good point. I actually thought he was a second, actually, but that was the Dorsey era. So I'm going to lay that at his feet, and we'll come back to that.
And he was just bad. Like, he was just bad.
Yeah, still is.
Yeah.
A note of the mechanics of this. Can other teams pick off players from the practice squad? Yes, they can, but that's not the biggest worry. The worry is you have to cut a guy.
Clear waivers.
And if they're not vested, meaning they don't have 3 accrued seasons, they go on waivers, which means any team can claim them. And so that's where you lose your young talent. It's sneaking them to the practice squad at a position that there's other talent getting cut. That's the key. And that's why I think Jody solidified his spot tonight. That is one of my next notes, is that it's not just the pass catching, the blocking is solid enough. I know that Blake Bell was out there even on the 4.
Yeah.
I mean, the 4, you have to have him if you're going to be for him. But I don't know. I'm going to change my 53. I might put all 4 of the tight ends on the roster this time.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. I don't think Andy's going to listen to what either of us think, which I don't think Blake Bell is necessary. I think that you can have Jody Fortson be a pretty decent blocking tight end, and you still use him in multiple facets that stretches the field, use him in those 12 personnels that they like to do. But I think that they want a blocking tight end on the roster. That just seems to be something that Andy Reid likes. Now, I did see Matt Derrick tweet that Burton could also be used as a possible backup tight end, a blocking tight end. So maybe he just says, I think we're good, and just lets him slide. That would be what I personally would do, because I do think that you can have Burton play an H-back, fullback type, and tight end type of role in this offense. But I when it comes down to it, I think Andy's he's going to keep 4 tight ends this year, and he's going to play them all. At least he's not going to pull a Ricky Seals-Jones, right?
Yeah. That's fair. I will tell you this too, that Sean Payton used him as a H-back as well. So I know that he can do it. There's film of him doing it. So that's perfectly legitimate. Ben, thank you very much as always. Appreciate
thank
the
you
support.
so much, Ben.
You are the rock star, as is this guy.
Oh, Brian. Gooch.
The two of you together, I don't know. Gooch, I hope you're doing well. I haven't caught up with you in a while. Folks, we have a Rogue Head huddle for you. It's coming. I'm going to get with the guys and figure out exactly when we're going to release it because you're going to start to see them on the main channel. So get ready for that. I think you guys are going to dig that. And I also have another surprise for you that I tested today. We'll make an announcement there week 1 when that's going to happen because I think you guys will dig that as well. Thank you, Gooch, as always. And Ben was talking about the linebacker room. Is it still tight? I mean, I don't think Dorian helped himself tonight. No. And if it came down to this game, I don't think he did anything good enough to change it. I will say this. When they brought out the twos, obviously Neiman was out there early with Nick, Willie, Hitch. Like those 4 are solid. There's no change.
Correct.
But it was interesting to me when they brought the backups in, DOD, Harris, and Cobb. The only guy who didn't play into the fourth quarter that I saw at least was Cobb. And that took me a little bit by surprise. I don't know if that means he's ahead or if they've seen enough that they realize he's not ready. It's 2 heads of the coin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting, like you said, because I personally think that Cobb's done enough to show that he's on this roster, and I think that's where I'm leaning with him myself. But they wanted to see what the other guys have. I think that's where they're going to go. But I think it's going to come down to Harris or Cobb. I think one of those two are going to make that final linebacker spot. And I don't think that O'Daniel's on this roster come regular season. I think he's done. He's an in-between guy that Spags just does not want. He doesn't want. He wants you to be one or wants you to be the other. And since they never really found that with him, as much as he plays special teams, they can get that somewhere else.
Yeah. I will say this. I didn't see it official from the league yet, and I get their press releases, so I should have it if it's there. But the broadcast said that they had made a decision to go to 16 with the COVID practice squad. If they do that, I think Dorian can land back on that and still be a reserve. So keep an eye out for that, you guys. Ben, thank you as always.
Very much.
And then Eric, glad you're back, buddy. Hope you're feeling well. I know a lot of people like Cobb, but does anyone agree with me that needs to get bigger and stronger? Yes, exactly. Yes. In fact, one of my last tweets of the night during the game was all 3 of them have to shed better. Yeah. I mean, they need to go hang out with Colin Saunders is what it is. Because Colin's ripping.
Dude, all of the defensive linemen, even Hitchens for that matter. Hitchens is slimmed down enough, but he has the knowledge to understand how to get off these blocks. You just got to start hanging with these guys, understanding what they're doing. And a lot of that is playing time, especially for these linebackers who are a little bit smaller. Bolton is going to get better at it too as time goes through. So yes, functional strength, very important in the run game. You have to be able to get off of these blocks because tackles and guards, centers in the NFL are coming after you. You can't shed a block, you're going backward.
Yeah, I agree. Pono says that Gore's number 3 now. Do you agree with him?
No, I don't agree with him.
Okay.
I think that McKinnon had already locked his roster spot in before preseason even started, if I'm being completely honest with you.
That's kind of where I'm at too. Pono, I like Gore a lot too.
I do
too. You guys
too.
Heard me say that last week. It's not just that big scramble, but I mean his vision on that was really nice. Kudos to the blocking from the lineman who got out. Allegretti in particular caught my eye on that.
Maurice French was out there just turning around and blocking. Like that was surprising to me too.
Yeah, him and Fortune finished it off. Like and that's where it comes back to like how they're going to build this roster is like, and there's a question coming. I know I'll answer it here in a second. If I don't scroll past it because I'm an idiot.
That's not very nice to say about yourself.
Well, Josh had it there. See, I didn't. If it came down to the 2, who are you keeping, Fountain or Fortson?
I'm keeping Fortson.
Okay.
And I don't think twice about it.
Okay.
To be completely honest with you.
And I'm a big Fountain guy, but I agree with you because I think in the depth of how often you're going to use a third or possibly if someone gets hurt, a second tight end, I think he's more valuable than what Fortson will be because if you lose Robinson, you got Pringle. Pringle, obviously, there's some juking around. I think it's more consistent of a hit at the tight end spot just because of the way the roster is built.
And if I'm being honest, guys, I think that Fountain can bring something to an offense, but I think he's a jump ball kind of guy, a back shoulder, let him go make a play. I don't think he's somebody that can get open on his own against actual NFL corners. I haven't seen it yet, and there's kind of a reason he's been a practice squad type of guy. And
Right.
he makes plays. He made plays, in some of these preseason games. But at the end of the day, you have to understand a little bit that guys like him and Kemp will make plays in the preseason. They'll make plays in training camp, but there's a reason they don't get on the field in the regular season.
The only caveat that I'd argue with is they like to keep 6.
Oh, they do.
And I can't think of 6 guys that are better than him. I can think of 5, but I don't know that I have a 6. And I know who you're thinking of. And maybe it comes down to Power Fountain. Maybe that's what it is. But it's good. It should be very telling when we know. Adam, is this one of the youngest rosters in the NFL? I mean, the 90 or the 80 is, Will the 53 be? I can't guarantee that.
Probably not. I think that if I remember, like the Eagles are they don't even have a receiver over 25 years old. Like their entire offense outside of the offensive line is extremely young. So I think that you've still got, you brought in Tooney, you brought guys like, Bell back. So I think that they've still got a pretty, I would say, balanced age roster. I think.
Fair enough. Cold Day, he did, and I gave him a lot of credit even on social media for making that grab. That was a hell of a catch.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that out loud. Miss Holly, thank you for the support.
Thank you so much, Holly.
As always, very much appreciated. The entire team looked great tonight, Holly said. They looked like they were having a ton of fun with great chemistry, especially Willie Gay late in the game. Initially, it looked like it would be close, but became close at the end. It's certain. Is that concerning at all? And I know the answer is probably not. Well, Dan, you take that one first.
So, I mean, your third string quarterback goes out after a 4th down stop and throws a pick 6. Like after his touchdown drive, he was the quarterback that we thought he was. Erratic. He was overhitting. He was throwing over in front of everybody. So I'm not too worried about that kind of thing. The defense had some great stops with the 3rd and 4th string guys. I think that they did a good job of showing that the defensive end and defensive tackle group, even the guys that are going to get cut, is very deep. That's a huge thing to see. So I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah, and I will tell you this: a lot of people were concerned. We'll probably talk about the defensive end spot here in a little bit. Giving up or making plays against the 3s does not carry the weight that it does when you get a glimpse of the level above you. Whether you're a 3 and you get a little time with the 2s, or you're the backup and you get a little time with the 1s, it's what you do when you play the competition above you. That's where I'm not so sure, and I'm not terribly concerned. Good for Bichelle. He beat out Gordon, who I think is a better quarterback.
I do too, and I was surprised to see them just say, we're done. And because I mean, he showed on that touchdown drive that when he's on, he can deliver and actually make some athletic plays that I didn't think he had in him.
Yeah, I completely agree with you in that. And that was a little surprising to me, but in a really, really nice way.
Yes, very much so. That
Holly
turnaround
again.
almost touchdown.
I know, right? Holly, thank you very much, as
you,
always, for the support. We're glad that you're here. Let's see who is next. I had Stevie's here. Good. I'm glad to see that. All the regulars are here. And again, you're going to see
what's going on, everybody,
in Roguehead Huddle. Arthur, good point. Yes. So if they keep 16, it doesn't necessarily change who's on the 53 for me. It allows you, honestly, to take a little bit more of a conservative approach for me if you feel you can get the young guys to the practice squad. Will Andy do that? I'm just not sure.
Andy's always a wild card.
Right? He's fun.
It's hard to predict, man.
You guys are doing great, hitting most of my notes so far. I like this.
They're doing a good job.
Who's the greatest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC? Bless you all, and may God protect our troops. I agree with you, and I hope that everybody gets out of there safe and sound. I know it's been a rough week.
Yeah.
You Devil Dogs take care out there, okay? Who's the biggest threat? Do you have one in mind?
I don't. I don't have. If the Bills weren't just falling apart at the seams and going to get taken down from COVID, guys missing games, I don't know really anybody. I think that the Browns will be eventually, but I haven't seen their defense in action. I've got no clue what's going to happen. They've tried to bring in some new guys to revamp the secondary, and obviously Jadeveon Clowney's there, who's taking shots at guards. So I mean, I'm interested to see how that's going to work out. But again, I think by the postseason it'll be Cleveland. But from now on, I just don't have anybody.
Yeah. Okay. I know it's going to sound cliche, but the team I think with the most balance on offense is the Titans. And if they get a boost out of what looks to be a subpar defense, I think they might serve the biggest threat in being able to score points. I don't know. And that's only if Julio's healthy.
Which,
yeah.
And then, they just had another outbreak. So,
well, there is that. Hopefully Vrabel will figure it out. But
I mean,
who
they
knows?
didn't care last year. Why would they care this year?
The more times you have to get swabbed, maybe that sinks in. I don't know.
So.
Jarrell, welcome to the show. Glad you're here. I'm glad we can help out with that. Wondering thoughts on Mecole today. No targets. Not concerned about it for me. They know what the jet is, and they just have to make him do it in game settings that count. I don't think this was a big test for him.
I think this was more about Demarcus Robinson, if I'm being honest with you. They took the shot on the opening drive with Kelsey and Hill because why not? They were wide open. And I just want to say that the touchdown to Tyreek Hill, I went back over it, and Zimmer talked about how he has got young safeties out there, which that's 100% true. There was no help back there. I think a safety missed his assignment, and Breeland played that like he was expecting help over the top because he knows Tyreek Hill's speed. If he's one-on-one, he's getting his hands on him 100% of the time. That's what's going to happen. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
I mean, that was like an oblique moment. Y'all better have me back there.
He got up and then he was like, oh no, what am I going to do?
Where
like everybody does. So yeah, no, I got no issues with the Mecole thing. They did try to work the end around on him, got like 7-8 yards on it. So it's all going to be game plan. This defense, the Vikings defense isn't good, guys. They could have pretty much torn that apart with whoever they wanted to. So,
and how much are they missing Mike Hughes right now with that return? I'm not.
Oh man, sure. Mike Hughes, the punt returner. It should only be Mike Hughes.
Right, revenge game, Mike Hughes.
Yes.
Good news from Andy here live. No new injuries.
That's awesome.
This is like the perfect scenario for the last preseason game. So be very, very, very happy tonight.
Love it.
Kingdom. Doug, you hit on my next big topic here. How many O-line do you think they keep? 9 or 10? I still want 15 protected all day long. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Here's the backups that I had when they came on the field. Remmers at right, Prince Tega at left, Allegretti in the middle with Wiley and Durant. Yep. So Blythe, I think, is out of the picture at this point, and maybe that's unfair due to the injury, but it is what it is. If you're not available, you're not available. So I think that's done. My question to you: do they still have to keep those 10, knowing that they got to keep LDT too in order to get him to the pup or return him?
See, I don't think so. I think Wiley's going to be the odd man out in that scenario.
You do?
I do, unless because I think he's the worst guy out of those guys. Maybe Allegretti is the one that doesn't make it, but they need a backup center, and Wiley can't play center. Yeah. So for me, it's going to be Wiley because you have Remmers who can play guard and tackle.
So can so can Wiley. Obviously, those are the guys who play tackle.
I think Remmers is the more solid option at both.
My question was, I was not as impressed with Prince Tega as much as I wanted to be. And I don't know that he lives up to the standard of the rest of them. If somebody has to go, I wonder if they go with their makeshift backups at tackle and put him back on the practice squad.
I don't know. I thought he did have some bad reps, but he also had some really good reps. And I think that's kind of to be expected out of your backup left tackle. And I don't know. I would keep him myself because I don't know that anybody else they have can actually play left tackle even as good as he did, if I'm being honest. Yeah. But again, I haven't seen him against starters either. So it's kind of a what do you do situation. Yeah, they're going to keep Remmers, and he can I don't even want to say survive at left tackle. Like he could be a body at left tackle.
Oh,
but I don't know, man. I would keep Prince if I was. I think that he's shown at least enough to give you to give you something. Maybe you just help him out with some chips every now and then if he's forced into playing time. But I would keep him myself. But again, this is like I said, Andy's gonna do what Andy does, and he typically likes to go with his plan. And if his plan is Remmers as the backup right tackle, then or he just puts Niang at left tackle and slides Remmers at right.
At right, yeah. I do think that the fact that we didn't see Remmers with the ones tells me that this is Niang's job.
Yep.
Which we kind of thought last week, but it's nice to see it confirmed. So that's all good. Yes, please, if you guys would. A lot of people live on YouTube tonight. A lot of content on here. The platform is growing, and there's Chiefs content everywhere. There's a lot of good people doing good work, and I'm glad that you guys are here. 700 of us in here right now.
Thank you guys.
If some of you could go hit that like button, that always helps us, because there's so many Chiefs fans seeing so many things. Like, we're trying to consolidate, bring everybody into the same room. This room's kind of fun because you guys ask a lot of good questions, like Roy's. The awareness of Kano on that play was great. I didn't see enough pass rush out of him, though. I didn't see him beating third-string tackles enough for me to be comfortable.
Yeah, that's the thing.
This is what I got to ask you. Him and Ward played behind Okafor and Damone Harris. How did you take that?
I saw Harris out there just as much as Kando and Ward in the third, but he was playing more inside from what I remember. So I think he's kind of playing as the odd man out in my own personal viewpoint. But I think every game from Kando, I've seen improvement in his pass rush plan. First game, he looked completely lost. Like, he didn't know what he was doing. And then last game, he had some good reps. He had many more of those I can figure it out, counter, and get by you with my pure athleticism, which is the reason he's on this team in the first place. And that's something you can work with. It's not going to work against, and first string tackles. It's not going to. But he's also your sixth defensive end. So it's a really kind of a learning experience. I think Tim Ward has progressed to a backup level, in my opinion. I think he's a guy I would be okay seeing him out there against ones. He's probably not going to win a lot, but I think he'll win a couple times. And then Kando right here is learning, which I think is a huge thing for him. Someone who was so completely raw coming out of Florida State. I think he's taking coaching well, which is a huge thing too.
Yeah, and demonstrating that's key. I don't have it. I'm going to change my 53 from what I thought yesterday, you guys. I will tell you that. But I still have him going to the practice squad. I think that's what's going to happen because he needs that time.
I get it.
It's still so raw.
And I think that the versatility that Harris plays on the inside too also might make him more desirable to the coaching staff. I'm not sure Kando can play on the inside.
Well, that's Harris following up your boy Dana because, that's what he can do. They like the versatility.
Yep.
Ralph, flaming hot take, Gore is 3. Williams to IR. I don't think Daryl's hurt that bad, you guys. So while I like your moxie about it, I don't think it's quite there yet. If Daryl would go to IR, I would agree with you.
I would too.
Let's see.
And I feel bad.
Jimmy, fan yourself. It's going to be okay. D-Rob held on to the ball. I think Dave Toe made his point.
We'll see if it continues throughout the season.
Yeah, that's true. Deldrick, what do you got? Darwin Thompson playing his butt off. Is there any more room for him? I really just don't think so. If they didn't need so many linemen and they didn't have like at least 7 legitimate guys at wide receiver and 4 tight ends, maybe you could squeeze it. I just don't think so. And quite frankly, I think Gore has overtaken him in the coach's eyes.
And that's the sad part. He's bigger. He can take on pass blocking situations. And he seems to understand the game a bit better. And I like Darwin Thompson. He's one of those guys who just goes out there and plays his butt off, like you said. But there are some things that does not overcome. And that's an unfortunate. I think it's a great story. He was able to get this far with the Chiefs and continuously try to make the roster. I just don't see it for him. Not even the practice squad this year.
I'm with you. Oh, I just realized I don't have Dan's name up. Now I fixed that. Ha ha.
Hey, I'm here. You guys
I just had to point it out. I had to point out my own mistake and then fix it. See, that's how I roll. Red Hood has a good question. Boodle and Watts make the roster in the final spots in the secondary. What do you think?
I think Watts has been a lock on this roster, actually. Looking back at the moves they made and that he didn't play this preseason game, maybe that was just more that the coaching staff playing games. But I think he's been a roster lock for almost the entire offseason, but they just kind of hid it from us. But no, I don't think Boodle makes the squad.
Yeah, I got to agree. I like Boodle a lot. I think a year from now, it might be a very different story.
Yeah.
But I have him on the practice squad, or I will have him on the practice squad.
Very much.
Congrats, Ryan. I like that. Very juicy.
Awesome.
Gooch, thank you again.
Thank you,
I guess
Gooch.
I said something you like. I can only assume.
Maybe
it's
he was
pretty
saying hi to me.
good. Oh, maybe that's
Hi,
what it was.
Gooch.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys like each other. Ben, is the safety room still muddy? I mean, like Dan said, not saying that Armani's the best special teams player of the safeties.
Mhm.
I like Zane, and I think even tonight he showed some decent instincts, and he shows athleticism that I like. I just don't think the jump is there yet.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to put him on the practice squad. He'd be the only guy that I think is still in it between the main 4 to 5 being Matthew Sorensen, Thornhill, Watts. I would have him at 5 right now.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
And I think that Key has played his way out of the roster. I think early on he was showing a lot, and then real game action got to him, and it's showing on the in that play. But that's not a bad thing. I think he's going to make the practice squad, and there's clearly instincts there, and you can work with that.
Yeah, he's another guy. Small school needs to grow, but that's perfectly fine, and I think that he will. So I'm pretty excited about what he will be in a season or two, to tell you the truth. Mac, thank you for the support.
Yes,
appreciate that
so much.
Is 6 wide receivers, 4 main, Powell and Kemp, 4 running backs, and 4 tight ends possible. 14.
Well, in this situation, it is possible, but Darwin's not the running back. It's going to be Burton.
Yeah,
that's the thing. It is unfortunately,
Burton is a tight end. I don't know. I mean,
maybe. I don't think he is, but
so we're talking 14, which means they have 11 spots for the 2 QBs. You got to have 2, and that means 9 linemen.
Yeah,
it's a possibility. Yeah, I mean, but if you added Burton in, you're talking 5 RBs now. Then no, I don't think that's happening.
No,
I don't know. It is what it is. Let's see. Good question though, Mac. I'm going to see where it comes down. Ben, thank you again. I appreciate that.
Just awesome.
Oh, keeping us on our toes too. I hope I got your question right before, Ben. I'm sure you have another one in here. Brent, hola to you. Mr. Gooch.
Yes. Oh, there's the hi.
Y'all could just text. I'm just saying. Hey,
it's true.
Ryan, thank you very much. Appreciate the support. RBs and TEs will have more success with this O-line. With more time for Mahomes, it'll give time for the running back and the tight end to block, run their option, or route off of a block in the open field without having to rush the play. I mean, time is the luxury that every offense wants. And you're absolutely right. This is going to help. There's more to that, though, than meets the eye, because you're talking about Travis Kelce, Blake Bell, who, despite his performance today, is not a passing threat, and 2 guys that still have a lot of development in front of them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see what specifically the tight ends do this year. I think Clyde's going to have a great year, health willing, and the tight ends could too. But Travis Kelce is going to take the majority of those targets. That's just how it is.
I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to is the 3 tight end bunch.
Yes.
And the swing to Clyde, and just that's what I'm ready for.
That's it.
Come get some is what I'm saying.
I don't think I would be able to stop watching that. I just continuously loop it and just watch what happens.
That might become our opening, folks. I'm just going to let you know. Let's see. Shoot, I think I lost a super chat. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to go over here and let that load for a second. But take Jimmy's question here. Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate it as always. You should check out BJ's podcast with Terez's wife today. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to yet. I didn't know it was happening until it was announced, so I'm a little behind today. Explains the fun and the name of Howard. Yeah, it's absolutely impressive. Ebony was on with Carrington today on 610 as well. You can get that as a podcast. That I did hear, and she kind of ran it all down. Yeah. Here, take this one while I check.
Yeah, so the offensive line depth it's interesting because if you kind of look at it as the guys who are backups, essentially were last year's starters in the Super Bowl, I mean, you can kind of feel pretty good about it. And I think it looks thin because we know what it looks like when all 5 are out there as starters. But if we're just talking about a couple, or maybe just one has to play in some tight spots. And I think that Remmers is the 6th guy. So if let's just say one injury happens. I'm pretty comfortable with him coming in just about anywhere on the offensive line, except center, obviously. Probably not left tackle, and so last year, the Chiefs' injury bug at offensive line was one of the worst years they've ever had. It was one of the worst injury luck years they had in terms of offensive lines. They had injuries everywhere, all over the place, and it was just bad from start to finish. Guys continuously getting injured. That doesn't always happen for them. So it feels thin, like I said, because you've seen what an entire backup offensive line looks like start to finish, and that's not a good memory to have. So I think we're going to see that kind of get washed out of people's minds a little bit this year.
Yeah, I can agree with that. We missed 2 from Marshall Smith. Marshall, thank you for the support as always. I'll read them. Do you think Baker can give Fenton a run for his money or a starting position by the end of the season? Right now, Fenton's not a starter. It looks like it's going to be Hughes. Fenton will be the 4. I have Baker the 5. Do you think that he can surpass Fenton?
No, because I think Fenton's rightfully slotted as a slot/safety type player, and Baker does not do any of those things. He is a outside corner.
Yeah, I think it might be very, very positional.
Yeah.
I think Baker might get a shot if either Hughes or Travarius goes down.
Yeah,
because he is an outside only guy. So that makes sense to me.
Mhm.
And his second question, any significance to Clyde sitting this one out after the ankle sprain?
No, I have zero worries about that. He practiced. They just kind of got him out there. They got him rest, and they know that he doesn't need this. Like this, I think he's shown more than enough in the games that he played, and them getting him out pretty quickly. They're using him multiple different facets in, especially the last game early. That shows you what they expect to do with him, and just getting him rest. That's all this is, really.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just precaution.
Yeah.
Tom, thank you for the question. Good one. Do you think that they're better in the red zone tonight and so far in the preseason because EB's calling the plays? He's calling more of them. What's your impression, Dan?
So I think the entire offense is going to look better in the red zone, period, because when you have an offensive line that can get movement in the run game and keep a quarterback clean for more than 2.5 seconds, everything looks a little bit better. And that helps everybody in the process. And I think Andy, who is more of a run first guy in the red zone to begin with, the stats shown that when he has an offensive line he can do that with. I think that that's just going to play out more this year. And as that continues throughout the season, defenses try to do more to stop the run. You're going to see much more play action off of that and getting guys in the flat and more open guys. So I think it's all just going to look better.
Yeah, I agree. Paddock, how are you, bud? Yeah, I'm happy for Niang as well. I think he has sealed it up. I will tell you, I'm more comfortable now with 3 rookies than I was at the beginning of the preseason, but I will also tell you this. This isn't preseason caliber football yet. Most of the teams that they went against did not start their entire front. So, in fact, Trey got jacked into the backfield on the first drive.
Yeah.
Like every now and then, you're going to see him get beat. That's perfectly fine. He's a rookie. But I will say this: like everyone has this conflated idea that they're going to just maul and destroy everyone. There's going to be some hiccups, you guys. Like keep an open mind because there's going to be some times where they have some stumbles. I think overall it's going to be much better though.
If a rookie has a bad game, don't take to Twitter and burn it down.
Right.
Just don't do it, because you have to keep that hindsight in. They're going to see looks that they have not seen their entire careers. Defenses are going to match up Jadeveon Clowney against Trey Smith and against Humphrey. They're going to do things that we saw in the Super Bowl they're just going to take defensive ends and shove them down into the middle and try to do things that they haven't seen.
And I'll tell you what they're going to I'll tell you exactly what they're going to do right now is they're going to put Clowney next to Myles Garrett on either side of Niang's shoulders and make him lose to one of them. That's
exactly what they're going to do. And they're going to win. They're going to. You have to wrap your head around that just a little bit. It's okay.
And honestly, and nothing against Trey and Niang, but I expect the game plan to include some left rollouts.
I agree. And some help blocking from probably Blake Bell, who's still going to make this roster. So I think he's going to chip as well. It's going to be a team effort to get them comfortable, because the Browns are going to make them feel very, very uncomfortable.
Ryan, thank you for the super chat again.
Thanks,
That's
man.
Twice. Appreciate that. What has left depth, corners or safeties?
I'm going to say safety.
I'm going to agree with you. Can I explain why?
Go for it.
Guys, Juan's been struggling for what the staff wants him to do, and he's the 3. I think he's going to ascend and get back to his normal thing. But Armando Watts is a guy that was buried on the depth chart last year, and now he's one of your top 4. The safety position is weaker than it was last year.
Very much so, which is an unfortunate thing because we thought Will Parks was going to like make this roster and be the 4th guy, but it's not turned out that way. So yeah, and you have emerging players in Mike Hughes and John Drew Baker, and even I think Bo Peep played a bit out there before Boodle and stuff like that this preseason game. So I think they're much deeper at corner than we all would have guessed 2-3 weeks ago.
Cold Ape, I think the depth along the offensive line is quite frankly a hodgepodge. There's so many guys that are going to play multiple positions. I don't think that's really it. Adam, I do think the young nucleus is going to be really good in a couple of years. I do not disagree with you anyway. Jeremy, biggest veteran who might be at the risk of getting cut. What do you think?
Man, this is I think Wiley for me. It's Wiley. I think that's the veteran who I think is going to get cut.
Okay, I'm concerned for Okafor. I'll tell you that.
I'm not so concerned for him. I think that he showed quite a bit, and he was out there in the second quarter and didn't play the rest of the game. So I'm actually thinking he's pretty safe. But Andy and them, they don't care what I think. So
hey, they don't care what I think either, and I've been yelling at them a long time. Susan, I don't know. I hope that some of it sank in. I have that scene from Game of Thrones. Shame. If it works, it works. It is what it is.
I would love for it to work.
Doug, thoughts on Kemp? Does he make the 53? Yes, he made the 53 the moment he walked into camp.
Lock that stuff up tonight.
I think the difference is that it's. I think they keep 6 if they can, and if they do, it's Fountain and Kemp at the bottom, and I don't think it makes a whole lot of difference. Do you?
Not really, especially if they're going to keep those 2. I think that's how it shakes out. They're going to be at the bottom, and they'll play special teams, and every once in a while, maybe in the red zone, they'll bring out a package for them.
Yeah.
Throw Fortson in there too. Why not?
Yep, I'm with you. Folks, if you are a starter level member and you want in the Discord, you just got to email me at this address here, rgrpodcast@gmail.com, and that will get you in. Let's see. Ben, yes. Tyron, Juan, Dan, and I think Armani's got it based on special teams and the fact that they played him in that spot tonight. Question is, do they keep 5? And if they do, my guess is it's Zane.
I don't think they're going to keep 5 any longer. I thought that might be the case originally, considering how much they had guys showing out, and I thought Parks was automatically on it. But now that he's not, I think 4 is the logical choice, especially with the way they use Fenton in that role as well. So I think that would be a pseudo 5.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll only have 4 on my 53. I'll tell you guys that. Ben, thank you again. You are a monster tonight.
This is incredible. Thank you so much.
If you guys would hit those thumbs up, you guys, we're doing great tonight. It's nice to see you for a preseason game. This is
this is great.
It's a nice crowd. I'm glad y'all are here. I know I look terrible. If you're new to the stream, it grows on you. Until my top of the mountain living situation changes with my internet, it's going to be ugly. That's why Dan is here.
I'll tell you right now, his internet connection is much better tonight than it usually is. So.
Oh, okay, good. I am really glad to hear that because I am about fed up. CenturyLink, you're on my list. Yeah, that's not very kind, but it is what it is. I think the special teams is going to be great this year. What are your thoughts? Someone asked that, and I just lost it, about Hughes being the returner. Yes, I think he is the main punt returner. I think that may lift them. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's going to negate some of the mistakes that we've seen over the past couple of years. But overall, I think that they're going to be really good. I expect to see Townsend play much better this year. And I think with the combination of Pringle and it's pretty much Pringle as the kick returner and Hughes as the punt returner, I think you're set.
EO, I'm not sure how to read your comment.
Uh-oh.
Okay. No, I read through it better.
Okay.
I thought you were saying that I was doing something dumb.
Okay, I see what you said here.
Danny is cool as ice.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's the first time I've ever been called cool in my life, so I do appreciate that.
Like if this was Top Gun, Dan's Iceman, and I'm probably Goose.
I can live with that.
Like the dorky piano dude. That's probably me. Austin, could there be a potential contract issue on the right side of the O-line in about 4 years if all three play up to expectations? There could be, but I will tell you, whoever plays first, they will try to get done as early as possible after year 3 when they could open negotiations. And that is part of the problem of having a class that takes over a position group so much. That is an obstacle that Brett Veach will have to navigate. Miss Holly, thank you again, as always.
Thank you,
Update
Holly.
on Clyde's injury prognosis and anticipated return. I asked 2 of the beat reporters. They don't have anything specific. It is an ankle, quote-unquote, sprain. That's much better than if it's a 4-foot sprain, which would keep him out a number of weeks. I think he's going to be fine. I think, again, this was precautionary.
Yeah, I think that he, like I said, I'm pretty sure he practiced all week, if I'm not mistaken. And even though he didn't like finish all of practices, I'm pretty sure he worked every single day.
He worked through the walkthrough portions.
Okay.
Yeah, he did not go full go in any period this week. And that's
Gotcha.
okay. And here's the advantage of this weird schedule, 3-game schedule preseason. Now they have 2 weeks off where they can rest him, and he should be good for week 1, Holly. I am anticipating him being the starter against Cleveland. And thank you again for the support, as always.
Very much.
Who's next? Guys, if you don't know, if you're new to the channel, A, welcome. B, throw some question marks at the beginning of your question. It helps me find them. And Kurt, how are you, bud? Just want to thank you guys for that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
that. Yeah. We talk a lot, and we're just glad it's not to just each other.
Yeah, it's nice to actually get some feedback on just you sitting in front of a microphone and talking for 45 minutes. So
right. Believe me, for those of you that are the old G's around here that watched me when I was solo back in the day, woo, y'all are strong. Do you think that we'll be paying Snead $20 million a year by the time he's up for an extension? I mean, it depends. It's one thing to be a coverage corner. It's another thing to take the ball away. And generally, if you're going to get up into the top 10, top 5, which is where that money is, you got to take the ball away. I think that's going to be his bread and butter after another season or 2.
Yeah. If he gets more snaps on the outside, I think that's where he's going to get most of his interceptions. I think PBUs will come more from him in the slot. And typically that just seems to be, shiftier guys are always going to be able to find that tiny split second to get to catch the ball or to get hands on it first. But I think outside is where his ball production will be the best. That's just my own thing. I think that's pretty clear with you too.
Yeah. And sorry, folks, if we're misleading it. This isn't the Q&A. Monday night will be the Q&A. Tonight's more about our notes, but you guys were hitting them pretty early. Yeah. Now we're kind of sidetracked. So I know not every question will get answered tonight. I apologize for that. There's just too many, but I'm trying to. And Monday night, I will go through one by one. I'll give you the whole hour and we'll get it done. Although 47 minutes in, I can't believe that.
Right.
Notice I didn't say we would be short tonight.
No, you didn't.
EOE, it looks bigger because we're used to the Chiefs having a small, nimble offensive line, and they have changed that.
Yep. It's awesome, and I'm so excited to see it in full motion.
And how good do you think it'll be? Random wants to know, do you think it could be a top 10 or top 5 unit?
So the way that rankings typically work is they take the full season and actually do that. But by the end of the season, if you take probably like from the actual halfway point to the end, I do believe they could be a top 5 offensive line.
I like it. Tom, you are very welcome. Thank you for the support. And you definitely are a watcher because you hit everything in like one sentence,
That's
all the
perfect
keywords
sentence to describe this.
it's like Tom does SEO for a living or something. That was pretty unique. Oh, good Lord. I'm falling farther behind. You guys, I apologize. I am so terrible at this. Just noticed my avatar. You and I are. I'm sorry. That's all I can say for that. Ralph, if the 2018 Chiefs played the 2021 Chiefs, what's the score? 78-79.
Well, I think, if I'm being honest with everybody, that the 2021 defense is way, way better than the 2018 defense. So score, probably more like 60-40. I'll go like 60-40.
Holly, I appreciate the sentiment. I can no longer grow hair like Tommy, so I'm very much flattered. Thank you. James, welcome. I'm ready to see Willie Gay destroy teams' plans. Yep. I am 100% with you. If you guys remember how giddy I was on the draft stream last year, get prepared when he's actually doing literally what you're saying there, because he is going to wreck game plans.
And they're not using him very much, which shows you that they don't want to show anybody anything about what they're going to use him for. Right. It's going to be great.
And that's going to be wicked. I love it. I'm going to boot this person because I thought Aaron was here, but maybe not.
He is here.
Folks, if you came to list your adult-only webcams, I'm sorry, you're out of here. See ya.
You're in the wrong spot.
Right? This ain't it. EOE, you're the best at keeping up and following you guys before y'all hit 200 subs. Wow. Well, thank you for the super chat first, but thank you for being here for so long. 200, man, that seems like years ago.
It was years ago.
Oh, and there's info coming out. All right. Again, I should have the 53 up for the breakdown on Sunday night. Just telling you guys. Thank you, Goots.
Thank you.
As always.
Even though you're gonna, talk down on me right now. That's okay.
Are you? I can't have a big name.
I understand that portion, but at the end of the day, it wasn't my fault. So you can't hold me to that standard when I have no control over what goes down under here.
Arthur, good question. Is there a trade worth pursuing to you, Dan?
I think you could get something for Andrew Wiley. I really do. I think he's played enough in the NFL. You could get a UDFA or something like that you want. Breach does that all the time. So yeah, I think that there's something there from some of the offensive line. I think that's pretty much what they like to do, is use a lot of these extra guys and get either 6th, 7th round draft picks for them, or UDFAs that they like. Having a hard time with your hat over there?
Yeah, like everything's wrong. I don't know what's going on. Getting old. The hair's not holding the hat up as much as it used to.
Just falling down your eyes. Just kind of like
it's melting. It's melting. Longmorn, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Andy, with 2 weeks to prepare. Yeah. I can't wait. Yeah. It's not Andy I'm concerned about. Spags has a tall order. The Cleveland Browns are going to take Nick Chubb and shove him down the Chiefs' throats.
Which is fine. I'm okay with that.
I'm glad you are.
We've seen it. The Chiefs don't necessarily care about run defense, but they have improved their run defense, and the run game has never beaten them.
Yeah,
so.
There is that.
I'm not worried about it.
Oh, yes, Marshall. I found it
here.
Yeah,
I'm just touching my table.
It's all right. I just like the way I feel.
Over here.
All right. Marshall, I'm sorry, I must have missed it before. But I see it here. Do you see Willie Gay starting in the nickel alongside Hitch over Bolton? 100%. Willie is the number 2 backer on this team,
and he's going to be awesome.
I'm
so excited.
I'm so keyed. Scott. Thanks, Scott. I appreciate that. Oh, and you know what? If Adam steps aside, I would gladly take his credential. If you could let Ted Cruz know that he works at One Arrowhead Drive, that would really help.
Everybody, just send it to him.
I tease Ted because Ted likes old school media, and I am not that. James, we're all for the 4 tight end set. I think I can speak for Dan there. Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Got Marshalls. Okay, John. How about the massive stick from Willie? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's the thing, is he's able to trigger now because he understands what he's doing within the scheme of the defense. And we're going to have something cool for you guys too, that it's going to be you football nerds are going to need to tune in here probably the week after next is when I'll probably put it up. We'll find out. I'll tease the heck out of it and let you know. So, hey, we're going to kind of wrap it up here. Any thoughts on Tyler Clark? I thought he did himself some good. I don't think he's anywhere near making the roster.
No.
So my guess is he's one guy that will probably get plucked and not make it to the practice squad.
Maybe. The last game is when you show out. I think that maybe he can probably make it to the practice squad. I don't know if he showed enough to get picked up by somebody else. But again, I don't know what teams need, but in another year, he probably makes the squad as the last guy in the defensive tackle room, but they're so stacked at defensive tackle. It's pushing good players down. Amber alerts going off everywhere.
Yep. Folks, if you're in the Springs area, be on the lookout for a black sedan. 21-month-old. I don't even want to talk about that.
No, I don't want to talk about that either. That's very, very upsetting to me.
Real estate agent Jack Thomas, welcome to the show.
What's going on?
I do think that the run defense has looked good to this point. I will say that it is the preseason, and sometimes the run game for offenses takes a little time to get going. So we will definitely know what happens against Cleveland.
This would be a great test out of the gate.
I'm a little bit nervous, I gotta tell you. Thank you, Doug, for being here and consistently for all you guys that are always here.
Just incredible. We
really appreciate your time. Sorry, to me, I'd let LDT and Long go and keep Wiley. He's his best ability is availability. That's true. I don't know if the coaching staff agrees with you, though. So I tend to think that they want to keep the vets. But that's Andy. What do you think of the max score given of any given game this year that we'll hit? Curious your thoughts. I mean, what's the best offensive output?
55.
55? Wow. That's pretty good. I'll say 49 because it's a round number of 7. Nate, I really hope to keep Fortson. What do you think? I think even the broadcast said that what they were hearing was that he had found a spot. And the broadcast team gets a meeting with Andy every week. That means something.
I think he's gone.
But I also won't put it past Andy to feed him a line.
I wouldn't either. I'd be so upset.
Yeah. Roy, who would you like the Chiefs to pick up in a trade if they could even pursue a trade? I mean, I was really happy when Xavier Howard wanted out of Miami, but that's not happening anymore.
No. Man, that's I mean, if they pursued a trade, I mean, if I'm being honest, if legitimate number 2 wide receiver came on the market, okay. Yeah. I'll call.
Yeah. Anything's worth a call.
Yeah.
That's for certain. And if I know Brett Veach, he's doing that right now.
Yeah.
Because I know the rest of the staff is pouring over the film from tonight. Not the Chiefs film, all the other film.
Yep.
Ready Whip. Tyron being annoyed on the sideline. Tyron's a competitor. I'm guessing he doesn't really like sitting out of ball games. I wouldn't read too much into it.
Just like what he puts on Twitter. Don't read too much into it.
Right? Because he'll probably delete it tomorrow.
Probably.
Holly, I'm glad that you're paying attention. I appreciate that. Susan says that she wants to score over 60. You never know. That could easily happen.
It could. I don't know if Andy's ever done that before.
I don't think so either. That would require keeping your foot all the way down. I'm not sure that's something he does. Well,
maybe
folks,
he can take off at halftime and turn over to Eric Bieniemy.
Right. All right, so you guys want to be here Sunday night. I will have my 53 for you. Then Monday night is the Q&A. We have reached the end except for the last 2 questions that just came in when I thought I was done.
Popping up.
Oh, Stevie Concepcion, thank you. What player in the NFL would make our offense unstoppable and historic? I mean,
Calvin Ridley.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. It's funny how our brains work. I will just say that. Because I just said Jalen Ramsey in my head. So
he said offense.
Oh, did he say offense?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't even see. That's how much I prefer defense. I didn't even read that. Oh, the offense. Well, I don't know.
It's Calvin Ridley.
Okay, fine.
I'm just telling you how it is.
I personally like AJ Brown myself, but
I mean, okay.
Yeah, you're good with that? Okay. Now, if I can just convince the Titans to let him go. Okay, that's fine. Hard to let LDT go. Should get the Walter Payton of the man of the year, hands down, no competition. I'm with you, Adam. It's been quite a year for him. Michael Worden, bratwurst with hands. See, and I almost, bratwurst is too much of a word. I'm going to try to get a hold of Mike and see what he thinks, but I'm leaning towards beer brat.
I like it.
Because I think that goes smoother.
That works. If it just rolls off the tongue.
Right. I know somebody said biscuit. I just might ask him what he prefers. We'll find out. But
oh man, we got lots of more questions coming in.
Yeah, Jersey Chiefs fan. We covered Kano before. We think that he's improved. Dan thinks he could make the roster. I think he's going to go to the practice squad.
I would get it if he did, to be honest with you.
Okay, fair enough. No, Jimmy, 49 isn't a prime, but it was a factor of 7, which is a prime, and that's how I factor everything. So
that's Ryan's thing.
that's the way my thing goes. Anybody who plays poker with me will find that out readily. Let's see, 20-0 this year, Doug. I'm gonna say no.
Nah, won't happen.
Cool. And with that, we are right at the 1 hour mark. I didn't go over tonight. You guys hung in. 650 people here at the end.
That's awesome.
Off a preseason game. You all rock. Dre, I see you. I'm glad
much.
You're here. We will do this all season long. So get ready. I know we'll have a break, but we'll still have the breakdown on Sunday nights until the regular season. So you guys bask in the glow of this one and get ready. We'll hear some inklings, and Sunday night you'll have the 53 from us. Tuesday you'll have it from the Chiefs. Thanks to Dan. Thanks to all of you. Thank you for all the super chatters and members. Enjoy this. It's almost here, the regular season. I'm looking forward to it. Take care of yourselves this weekend. We'll talk to you next time.